Right then, boys, let's talk about how you can start Etsy dropshipping in 2025.
What did he say?
I know, crazy. So good to be back. So good to be talking about this again because it is such an insane money-making opportunity still. Let's talk about the current state of Etsy before we get into anything. I'm going to discuss product research, setting up your store, managing your store, scaling, the different types of stores you should run. It will all be discussed, but first, I think it's only fair that you know the game. So, the first thing you do is store creation, right? So, to get a payout on Etsy now, it's going to be a 14-day wait. You're going to have ID checks. You're going to have the persona check. We talked about that in the past. It's completely fine, okay? That is all fine. So you're going to have 14-day payouts for 90 days. And that sounds like a long time, but trust me, it goes very, very quick. We have solutions for that. We have things to do, so don't fret, okay? It's all handled in this video. I will be going over it all. The algorithm has changed massively. Organic is still king. Ads are not what they used to be, okay? You can really play the long game on Etsy now. You can really build long-lasting, stable, evergreen stores that are going to make you money today, next week, next year. It's a great place to be. The competition has all but gone. No one is really dropshipping on the platform now. Of course, there's still a few people. Chinese sellers have tried to come in and flood the market with their crap. They didn't really work out well. There's a lot of AI stuff on there, but they're getting picked apart. There's so much money on the table to bake. There's a lot of less logistical challenges, right? You can get some super quick shipping options now. It's almost like the customers are not, because they're not falling to all these scams, right? Because of the ID check at the start when you create the store, it's like KYC, know your customer. Etsy have your ID. They know you're a real person. They know where you are. Why you know, it's like anti-money laundering. It's anti-fraud. So the only issues they have to uphold is the platform's reputation in terms of products. So if you sell the right products in the right way, you're completely fine. And that's why a lot of competition has gone. So that's really, you know, the state of creating the store and the competition. There's been, as I said, a huge algorithm overhaul. The age of your listing really matters a lot now. So when you first put it out, it's about building traction. It's about getting reviews. You're going to have like waves. Your graph is going to be wavy. One day you get loads of sales. The next day you get none. Then loads of sales, none. You have to stable it out. You have to get your customers in, leaving feedback, leaving reviews, getting repeat customers. And Etsy's going to love you. And then those boosts and those dry periods are going to be less often. Okay? You know, the algorithm has really had an overhaul. So don't expect it to be what you were used to. Because we run such clean operations selling really good products, we haven't had a ban this entire year, going past this entire year on any kind of store. Even stores we've been testing products on, or even stores that we've just been running and putting a lot of passion and love into, which they're the worst ones to get bans on, right? So the risk of bans has come way down. The only really things that's causing bans is when people come in and sell reps. They sell really crappy products and the customers just are not having it, and they get review bombed and they get deleted off the platform, or they make silly mistakes. They have shipping problems. They're not shipping on time. It's a very slow logistical problem. They're coming in, they're trying to sell personalized products, not realizing that it's actually a 2-month delivery window. You know, stuff like that. You know, they all feed the metrics that you have on Etsy. So anything negative is going to really damage you in the algo, but anything positive is going to really push you. So you have to make sure that your customer is getting a very smooth time. You know, they're not facing any issues. They're not having to message you all the time, checking up on your orders, and they're going to leave you a nice review. If you can do that, you're going to succeed. Now, the other benefit of everything that's happened on Etsy is you can run a really diverse operation. You can run dropshipping, you can run digital products, and you can have in-house personalized. You know, we have friends that we've sent laser machines to, sent them stock, and now their full-time job is to run stores that are dealing with those products on our behalf. So, you know, whatever it is, we have some design, loads of different things. It goes onto products. They sell it completely within TOS. There's a lot more you can do with that, but I'm not going to talk about it in this video. But that is an avenue. And now when you're creating a store, you get 90-day waits. Start them as digitals. Build these stores out as a digital product. You can make so much money in the digital space, okay? That it will get to the end of these 90 days and you go, I'm not changing this store to dropshipping. This is making me insane money. And that's the idea. You make lots of stores, you set them all up as digitals, you get your sales, you get the countdown ticking, you work on them as a digital. 90 days hits and you go, right, I've got 10 stores here, but I want to keep 5 of them as digital. They're all making me $300, $400, $500 a day digital. That's staying like that. That's safe. That's mine. Let me work on these other 5 as dropshipping and see what I can do. Okay? Or, okay, I'm making all this money on digital. I've put a load off to the side. Now let's go buy a laser machine. Let's go work an in-house setup, a legit Etsy operation as well as these digitals. And you might skip dropshipping entirely. It's completely up to you. There's so much choice for you. But now let's talk about creating the stores. If you're in Etsy Mafia, you remember the old method, the warming up, right? The emails, everything you had to do with that. None of that is there now. Because of the KYC, because of the ID checks, that's how they're verifying you. They're not verifying you through cookies and email data. They're verifying you for the ID you provide. Great. It saves you so much time. Okay? So you create a store. You still use, the anti-detect methods that you would before to separate stores so they are not linked. But you're using the IDs, you're opening them, you're having a nice stockpile. Okay? So you've got some stores being made using that method, okay? If you want more details on that, I am going to be updating the free course in Etsy Mafia. It's not going to be paid. I don't want your money in there. That's going to be coming. There's a big call on Friday. That's the 11th of July. So if you're before that, that'll be then. And then it'll be the weekend. Then it'll be going on to Monday. There'll be a big brand new free course going over all of the Etsy stuff. But yeah, so you create the stores, you build this backlog, you run them as digis, you start that countdown, and just accept whatever happens, okay? You're going to get 14 days. If you get 20 days, you've messed something up, okay? So you've created the stores. There's also going to be the few of people out there that go, well, I want to drop ship on a 14-day store. How can I do that? Well, you have 2 options. You can fulfill ahead of time, pay out of pocket, because you have cash flow, because you have money to the side and you trust what you are going to be selling. If you're going in and you're selling reps, okay, we never want to be selling them, but if you are, you're high risk. Why would you be fulfilling ahead of time when you could just get banned and lose all the money? The other option is you have a 14-day processing time, okay, and then your 10-day delivery window or whatever. So you only pay for the order when you get the money out. And on Etsy, there's a lot of stores that do have a long processing time, a long delivery window, depending on the type of product. So it can work. But when it gets to those 14 days, you'll have order reserve. Your money will just keep coming down because new orders are coming in, lowering your daily payout and more going into the reserve pot. So it is a bit of a nightmare, but you can do it. Now then, we are wanting to build a catalog of potential products for us to use. So firstly, let's go to make a spreadsheet, right? I'm using Google Sheets here. That's fine. And what we want is we want to store these data values. We want the name, we want the link, we want the COGS, we want our cost, and we want the margin percentage. So we want the name of the product. What is the product? Okay. And then what I would advise is if you're going to be using AliExpress to fulfill at the start, I would put your name here, whatever your listing name's going to be. So then you can just Control F, paste in a name. And if you've got a whole bunch of products in here, you can just find it super quickly by that. Then the link. This is the link to the supplier. This is the AliExpress link if that's what you're using. If not, you could use like a SKU, right? But now link. Then we have COGS. This is how much it costs for you to ship this product to the US, for example. Okay? Don't just look at the price it tells you on AliExpress on the product page. Go to the actual checkout. Do a few states and get your average. What you then can do is do a basic COGS in your top 3 countries. US, UK, Germany, whatever. If you want to. But just having a rough idea on your COGS is good. Then, we want to know, what price are we going to sell it at? So say we buy it for $5, we sell it for 25, our margin 75%, right? So we need to have an understanding of this, yeah? And once we have these numbers in here, it's very easy and quick to work out what's going on. Then what we can also do is, we can do amount of sales, and then we can filter it by this massively. We can filter the amount of sales each one has. So every time you have to come in to get the link to fulfill, just add a number in there, whatever. See what it, in the back end of Etsy, do an update every so often. Then if you're finding products in here that are not selling in comparison to others, but they're still getting good amounts of visits, and you're looking at it and you've got like a 90% margin, right? Then that's when you can go, right, okay, yeah, I can drop this cost massively. Also remember, you've got COGS, our price, and margin. This is going to be before you run any sale. So what you might want to do, why is it not let me do why is it not let me insert a column? Okay, that'll do. Discount, right? So what store discount do you run? Do you run like a 30% thing, 30% discount? And then you can do some sums and stuff to get this, and then you can do your profit, and then it'll work out, your average profit per sale, and just by using something basic like this to keep track of everything that's going on, you're able to see, okay, what's my profit at this price point? If you do sums here, right, and based it on your discounts and prices, you can go, right, change that to 15, what would my profit be, what's my margin going to be? Okay, and see if then that has an impact of any sales, right? So you just need to be smart with it. You need to get a good understanding of pricing, how you price things. Good margins are typically on Etsy are going to be above 40%. If you're looking at 60-70% margins and getting good amounts of sales, you're laughing. Okay, so make sure you set up some sort of organization system before you go ahead and get a whole bunch of products listed and you don't really know your COGS. So the first product research method I'm going to talk about is one I've talked about for a long time. It's because I'm so confident in it, because I use it all the time. It's Everbee. Now, you might be thinking, okay, I know Everbee. The data is really behind. It's sometimes inaccurate. Okay, it can be inaccurate a lot. That's true. I use Everbee as just a driver. It is just a tool to take me to where I want to go or where I need to be to find all the answers, to put the pieces to the puzzle together. Everbee is kind of like the jigsaw. It just takes me to where I need to be, essentially, and how to put it together. So what I do is, because we are looking at long-term, evergreen, solid niches that are going to fit right in on a platform, I can set them all up perfectly. These are the type of niches we're going to be looking at today, like wedding bracelets, charm bracelets, this type of jewelry that's niched down from just bangle, from just ring, right? We're putting something else into the mix. And then what we're doing is we're filtering it by shop age. We want to see, what are the new people on the block doing? What keywords are they going after? How is growth for them? Okay. What are they actively diving into? What new products are they putting out? Are they still going for these keywords? And of course, is this product doing them well? So we find these types of products. We be sure to avoid any IP products. And we go onto their stores and we just look. Does the information ever be showing accurately, portray this product? We do that by looking for a few indicators, 20 plus in baskets, however many views in the last 24 hours. Is there a bestseller thing on it? We scroll to the bottom of the page, we look for favorites, and we see, when was it last renewed? Was it last renewed a month ago, or was it today? If it was today and it has reviews, and it has favorites, that means it's sold today. So we can accurately say that that product is selling, right? Everybody led us there. We got the conclusion. What you're also needing to do along this process is analyze the keywords. Look at the keywords, right? Why are they going after them? What other products can I be the first to bring to the market under these keywords? How else can I get in there, right? I am trying to use this iPad, but I'm terrible at whatever's going on. Okay, so we are wanting to do that. We're studying listings, we're studying photos, we're studying flow. We're trying to understand, what are a lot of these sellers doing? How are they structuring things? Why should I structure it this way? What is their delivery like? Can I beat them on delivery time? Are they charging delivery fees? Are they not? Where are they shipping from? Stuff like that is going to help you a lot. And then most importantly, can you source it? Okay, we've already spoken about pricing, so I won't cover that. But the ultimate product testing tip is to find products and list them on your own stores. Okay, list the products that you find. If you set up your own little product criteria, okay, my products have to match this, right? Go ahead and list them. The data that Etsy gives you live is going to be far more valuable than any app, than any studying other people. If you don't really know what niche you want to go into, if you're kind of preparing way ahead, maybe you've opened your stores and you want to get prepared for 90 days in the future, we're going to set up a store tracking sheet. So in it, we need the URL, right? A niche. In it, we need the store URL in which we want to track, the niche in which they're selling, the amount of sales they have, the date, when did we start tracking them, and sales when we first started tracking them. So they're the columns. So essentially, we're putting the link in the niche and the amount of sales. And we run this amount of sales column in 2 iterations. So we have today's tracked and the previous one. So we know, okay, I last checked this. I started tracking this on the 9th. It had 0 sales. I came in and checked on the 11th. It had 10. Then on the 12th, it had 20. So in 3 days, it did 20 sales. And in 1 day, it did 10. Okay. And then we're just mixing it up. So then where the 11th of July is, we'd put the 12th. And then we'd do the new date in which we tracked. And now you're going to be compiling a sheet of stores that you're tracking, getting really valuable data from, saving you, potential listing time. I would still always rather get products up on the platform than relying on this, because the time in which you spent tracking them is times that you could have been getting sales. Now, we are going to do on-platform research. This one is super, super simple. We're going to go on Etsy and we're going to look at our keywords that we're wanting to do, wedding bracelets, charm bracelets, that type of thing. We're going to filter to newest. We're going to look through the list that come up. We're going to look through the listings that come up, and underneath we're going to look, is it a star seller and how many reviews they have? If they're a star seller, we're not interested. If they're a star seller, we're not interested if they have less than 1,000 reviews, okay? If they're not a star seller and they have less than 1,000 reviews, we're interested. Because essentially, if all they can do is get less than 1,000 reviews in 3 months, we want to be doing better than that. We want more than that, okay? We want better keywords than that. You can dive into them if you want, if you really like the look of the product or if you think it's the right time, but it's just not something I would do in this case. So we're using those quick eye metrics that we can scan super quickly to find potential listings. We're clicking on them and we're analyzing these listings. We're analyzing keywords. We're analyzing volume behind these keywords. We're saying, do we want to sell this listing, or how many other listings and products can we find that would also fulfill this criteria? And we're going to do some quick product searches. If we can find some good products, we're going to get them sourced. And again, we're going to get them up on the platform so we can get the best possible data, right? Make sure that because you're using your competition this way, you need to be able to compete. You need to be able to do better. And can you target the same keywords? You know what the growth trajectory is going to look like. Do you think you're going to be able to do that? Do you think you can really step on the gas and outcompete this seller? That is what you're looking for. And you just want to absolutely dominate them. Now, let's discuss listings. Okay, so we want to set up super powerful listings in ways that Etsy love. The first thing we're going to do is photos. Now, with photos, there's a lot of methods I have, a lot of methods I do, and I don't really want to talk about them all. One of the methods I have is we kind of have like a content setup within our company. We do a lot of e-commerce, so we like to get our good products in and get all our own photos. If we can't do that, we need to heavily modify or find new variations of the photos for the product. Now, a very old, trusted, reliable steed of a method for this is Photo Room. Now, I've just put this photo in here. You'll see it's removed the background, and we can come in and basically click and find some sort of background for it. Okay, I don't have the pro account because I never use Photo Room. But you'll see, right? If you pay a little bit more, it will work really nice. With the photos, you kind of want to set up a brand image for it. So if you can do them all on like a light wood countertop or on the same background or in the same room, you're setting a really nice brand image for it. And you want to be doing this for all of your photos. All of your photos need to be new, unique, heavily modified. And again, there's lots of AI tools out there that can assist with this. And when you get to the point that this product is really good for you, bring it in-house and get all your own content done. Now, what else we can do is ChatGPT, AI tools, okay? So say we wanted to sell this product, it was already on here. What we can do is just tell ChatGPT, product. Now, this is not really what I would always do, but it's going to give you a really good foundation, a really good flow. You can get the basic needs from this, and with all the keywords you found throughout your research, stack them throughout, okay? You can also give prompts before this, tell ChatGPT, look, you're a master Etsy SEO guy, you're going to be working on this, this, and this. But that's for you to kind of learn. What we want is this thing. Okay, I can't type tonight, but and we want 13 keywords, max of 20 characters in CSV. Okay. I can't spell. Consisting of a SEO, of a just put of a solid SEO title, blah 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 blah, and then we're gonna just put the link in. I normally would put the photos in, but I don't want it to open up whatever files I have. Okay, so you'll see here, look, okay, there's the SEO title that it's worked on. We can find ways of putting our own keywords into here, right? So we want a very nice SEO style title. Now with these titles, some people say they like commas and breaks within the title. Others don't, because then they get the best match of keywords possible. Like this way, bracelet custom is not a keyword, but if this was removed, it would be, right? Or if this was removed, it'd be her adjustable dainty jewelry would be the keyword, right? For her adjustable, so either side of this, jewelry bridesmaid would then be a keyword, right? Dainty jewelry bridesmaid would be a keyword. Like, so if those breaks aren't removed, it's nice to have them because it looks a bit more human. Then what other people do too is whatever their title is, they like to put at the top of their description in a natural way. So all the keywords that you're going for within this listing, try and fit them in at the top of your description in some sort of way, because this is where the keywords are picked up most for, right? Like this section here is where Etsy is grabbing keywords from your description. So we'll see, we start off with a nice opening bit of info. It's not too much. What I would do is here, I would have it as 2 sentences. Have it as a little break, right? Then you can quickly digest. And then it's bullet points, bullet points, bullet points. Any important information for them to have stacked at the bottom, away. No keywords down here, so the keywords are all up the top, right? All the information they have is in there. Any extra information, any FAQs, provide them in the description. That just minimizes your customer support needs, right? If the answers are already if the questions are already answered, they don't need to message you. You don't need to add extra friction on the sale. So here's the keywords that it has generated. What we need to do is just add a comma at the end of each of these. Okay, doesn't want to let me, but we want to add a comma on, and then we can just copy paste all of them into the tag section. Within there, we want to make sure we have about 4-5 photos minimum of the thing. We want a maxed out title with all the keywords you could possibly want, right? When it gets seasonal, you can start duplicating these listings, modify the photos to the more seasonal, and put those seasonal keywords in too. Don't edit your previous aged mature listing. Get a new one out there. You want to add as many kind of attributes as possible. Okay. You want to set up your categories. You want that all nice. You want a nice delivery profile. What your delivery profile is going to consist of is you're going to say you ship from the likes of China, Hong Kong. If you want to use last mile shipping numbers only, then you can say you ship from, America, Germany, wherever, right? Then you want to be accurate with your processing times, accurate with your delivery times. Once you get a lot of orders through, you'll have a lot of tracking numbers. And when you have a lot of tracking numbers for each country, you can go into your delivery profiles, add a special section for that country, and really dial in the delivery window for it. Because you might find, okay, well, I get a lot of custom to the UK, and my UK delivery time is 2 days quicker than the US. I want to capitalize on that. I want people to know that. So let's set up that little section in the delivery profile. Okay. If you can find some sort of video for your listing, perfect. What you can do is do a little mashup, a little MP4 of all your photos or animated in Canva, and use that instead. But let's take a look at this listing here. These are big dogs, 134,000 sales, 11 years on the platform. They know what they're doing. Okay, so look, they've got their attributes, right? They've got that set up. They've got delivery dispatched from the UK because they're doing in-house, right? That's the benefit. When you want to set up, you potentially want to set up in-house, get your own laser machine, and you can do stuff like this, right? And you can dispatch from your country with super quick shipping times, right? Now, again, look, they've got their title at the top. They've got a really nice thing here. Fast and free UK delivery. Express delivery is now available on this item, right? That's great. I would love to know that. If I was going to buy it, I want to know it's coming quick. Presented in the gift box. Look, a lot of questions are being answered through this. They're talking about statistics and metrics of the item, okay? Everything is answered in here, and it's free delivery, right? There's a lot of people selling stuff like this, but they stand out, okay? This is a new listing for them. 43 favorites, chain and link bracelets, but it's solid. And I bet if we go onto their store, they're going to have loads of this product, but different photos with different names, with different things attached. Okay? That's what you need to be doing on Etsy too. Look, is you can have the same product, you can have a similar product, different photos, different designs, different styles. Okay? Say you sell one bracelet that has 5 different variations. Okay? You can have a listing for each variation, and then you can have a listing for all the variations with different thumbnails with different targeting. So each of the 5 variations have their own listing, and then a group listing where each one has its own one, where it's the primary one pushed in the throat. Okay, that's one of the games on Etsy. That's what you do. So that's 5 variations of one product of one listing you had. now turned into about 15 listings. Okay, just make sure you're targeting different keywords and you stand out in different areas. But if you follow that, you're going to set up really nice listing structures. I'm also going to do a full breakdown on every single section of this in Etsy Mafia. I'm going to do some updated resources in there, going over everything, getting you all up to date, getting you all back in the game. So we've created our store, we've done product research, and we've created our listings. What is there to do now? Well, next is management and scale. When your stores are in a decent spot and you're getting good sales in, and you run a few of them, okay, you bring VAs in, you open new stores, you clone your systems, you clone your setups, you diversify, and you run across multiple stores. It's always great to learn with one store, but if you want to make lots of secure money and not have all your eggs in one basket, you want to run 5 or 10 stores, at least. If you're having a mix of digital, drop shipping, in-house personalized products, you're super safe. And that is the meta for Etsy in 2025, okay? You're running these super clean stores that are super safe with great operational backgrounds and great operational setups that you have to think, okay, what's going to stop me here? And that's when the world really becomes your oyster. That's when you can go ahead and diversify. And, you can do things like scaling up on Shopify, like we have. And you can put your money into different avenues, okay? When you conquer Etsy, you conquer cash flow. And when you've conquered cash flow, you can go into anything. Now, that's something I have said for years. But it's really great to see you back, looking at Etsy dropshipping, wanting to get back into Etsy. And just remember, in order to succeed in Etsy in 2025, you have to be an asset to the platform. You have to sell good stuff with a good setup, treat your customers right, and Etsy will look after you.